one approaches you by accident. Every outstretched hand carries a price, even if it's hidden behind a smile. People, friends, lovers, strangers, even enemies, are drawn to you not because of some saintly glow, but because you offer something. Status, comfort, insight, money, protection, escape, validation, excitement, or simply the satisfaction of witnessing your downfall. Centuries ago, Niccolo Machiavelli stripped away this illusion with his pen, exposing what many still pretend not to see. He warned that people are ungrateful, fickle, deceptive, risk-averse, and driven by self-interest. That truth hasn't aged a day. In a world where everyone is angling for advantage, the only question is, will you be the one used or the one using? The currency or the collector? Every interaction carries a silent contract. Compliments are negotiating chips. Kindnesses are loans. You're in a marketplace where love, loyalty, even pity are commodities. Your mistake isn't that people want something from you. That's inevitable. Your mistake is forgetting to price what they take. Modern culture numbs us with slogans about generosity. But Machiavelli would scoff. Mercy without strategy is not virtue. It's a signal that you can be taken for free. Give too freely, and you'll find your goodness weaponized against you. Every desire aimed at you is also an opportunity for leverage. Every request is a declaration of value. Recognize the exchange, and you stop being a victim of it. That colleague eager to borrow your idea is admitting your brilliance. Invest that moment in influence. The partner craving your time is revealing how much absence hurts. Convert that into commitment. The family member demanding your energy proves your time has worth. Demand respect in return. In power, debts don't sit idle. They collect interest, and that interest compounds. So practice quiet accounting. Over time, you'll find yourself holding the invisible ledgers of entire rooms. People may call this cold. They'll bristle at the idea that love, friendship, even charity come with price tags. But watch how fast they vanish when your usefulness fades. Their moral outrage is just a disguise, camouflage for their own calculation. Machiavelli didn't invent this game. He just handed us a mirror. Look into it. That friend who cried at your wedding shrugged at your bankruptcy. That partner who swore forever once privately questioned whether forever still had value. Strip away the sentiment and you'll hear it. That metallic click of transaction beneath every lullaby. Don't confuse this clarity with cynicism. It's not bitterness, it's liberation. Once you recognize your value, you can design its use. Begin by mapping your assets, your skills, your networks, your knowledge, your time, your energy, your presence, even your silence. Then map the hungers orbiting you. Who seeks status? Who craves belonging? Who needs a platform? Match hunger to asset, and you build invisible chains stronger than steel. That's not exploitation, it's balance. Others are already taking from you. You're simply beginning to measure the harvest, price the fruit, and fertilize the soil to grow power instead of depletion. It's scarcity, remember, sharpens value. The more accessible you are, the cheaper you become. Luxury brands understand this. Limit supply and desire soars. So vanish strategically. When you return, return evolved. Rarer, smarter, desired. Silence is another strategic weapon. In a world addicted to noise, those who speak less often reveal more strength. Modern chatter lures the naive into showing their hand under the guise of networking. But Machiavelli taught rulers to mask intentions with courtesy. You should do the same. Answer questions with questions. Redirect attention. When you give away nothing, others give you everything. Reputation moves faster than truth. So shape yours deliberately. Accentuate your uniqueness. Broadcast your wins. Bury your wounds. Power thrives on optics, Just as Machiavelli's princes stage public punishments and glittering parades, today's strategists must master digital equivalence. Feed the algorithm with evidence of greatness. Let results answer critics, not apologies. True power doesn't hoard. It moves, it flows, it calculates timing. Use the goodwill you've gathered only when it multiplies. One favor returned might ripple into 5. One secret exposed at the right time can stop 10 threats. Amateurs spend social capital for small thrills. Strategists harvest only when the field is golden. Where there is desire, fear always lurks. Sometimes power lies not in promise, but in restraint. Let the plagiarist see your smile and wonder what you'll do. Let the cheating partner feel the quiet weight of what you know. Imagination punishes far more effectively than confrontation. Just don't overuse fear. It's arsenic, not seasoning. Machiavelli believed cruelty should be swift and kindness stretched. Apply that logic. Lead people without manipulation. Offer direction cloaked in empathy. They'll call you visionary, not controlling. Still, hold yourself to a higher fairness. Charge what you're worth, but deliver on your promises. Loyalty given must be earned until it no longer serves, then cut it cleanly. Sustainable power is never built on deceit. It is built on calculated generosity and unshakable excellence. Become so competent, so necessary that people chase you just to orbit your gravity. Audit your circles. Eliminate those who drain. Elevate those who push you forward. Never confuse nostalgia for duty. Sentiment is a poor steward of empires. Beware obligation signed in guilt. Guilt for outgrowing old friends, for surpassing family, for enforcing boundaries. Guilt is the leash that holds back lions. Comparison is a natural instinct. Use it. Stand beside giants when negotiating. It humbles you and elevates your ambition. Stand alone when addressing the masses. It magnifies your stature. In both frames, you sculpt perception to work in your favor. Time is your most sacred currency. Anyone who assumes your time is free is stealing from you. Charge them in money, in influence, in insight, or say no. Their reaction will reveal whether they valued you or only your access. Expect backlash. The world prefers comfort. It will call you ruthless. Let it. Lions don't lose sleep over the whimpers of gazelles. Meanwhile, you gather capital, financial, social, intellectual. And in times of crisis, those who once whispered will return because success silences rumors. Guard yourself from the arrogance of success. The same drives you manipulate in others can poison you too. Your ego will whisper that rules don't apply. But even Machiavelli's idol, Cesare Borgia, fell when fortune shifted. Plan for obsolescence. Train replacements. Diversify, design exits. The ruler who anticipates sunset lives to rise again. Master the art of giving. A gift delivered at the perfect time enslaves gratitude for years. But keep the balance, enough to dazzle, never enough to make you replaceable. Blend charm and edge. Let kindness disarm and precision enforce, like a velvet glove covering brass knuckles. The threat once sensed often suffices. Avoid open war, sabotage quietly, undermine supply, credibility, confidence. Let your rival fall by their own weight. Your fingerprints? Nowhere. Maintain mystery. Share your story, but never all of it. Let others build legends in the gaps. People believe in myth more than biography. Steve Jobs knew this. He crafted a 2-sentence origin story. Do the same. Make your rise a parable. Practice selective humility. A public mistake owned gracefully resets the narrative. A single act of contrition refreshes your image. Let critics exhaust themselves on minor missteps while you move to the next triumph. Algorithms rule perception. Influence them. Optimize your presence. Flag competitors subtly. Promote safety features only you can offer. Make it look like the system prefers you, because you designed it to. Build moats. Apple uses cables. Amazon uses perks. Religions use afterlives. Raise the exit cost of leaving your ecosystem so high, they stay not just out of loyalty, but necessity. And finally, understand, true reign isn't what you hold while you breathe. It's what endures after you're gone. Succession is the second act of power. Legacy isn't just inheritance, it's structure, ritual, and narrative, so tightly woven into the world that removing you breaks it. So install doctrines, frameworks, cultures. Make your ethos the engine others run on. Let challengers gather. Controlled competition keeps you sharp, but starve their ambition just enough to keep their hunger aimed at you. Surround yourself with brutal honesty. Appoint a council licensed to challenge your vision. Without it, your throne softens and your empire decays. And remember this, power that waits for opportunity reacts. Power that plans for inevitability rules. Now go, sculpt your fortress, build your legend, and know that every whisper of desire directed at you is a resource to be shaped into something far greater, something immortal. Power is not a moment. It's not the crown, the applause, or the bank account. Those are symptoms, brief echoes of something deeper. Real power is structure, invisible threads that hold others in place while you move freely. By the time the world sees your rise, the game has already been rigged. The architecture was built behind closed doors, in quiet rooms, over forgotten favors, through choices made when no one was watching. If you're seeking recognition, you're already behind. The true players don't chase visibility. They engineer inevitability. Understand, people obey not because you're loud, but because you become necessary. Remove that, and the illusion collapses. But necessity, that endures. Machiavelli knew this. He didn't teach leaders to be loved. He taught them to be needed. So ask yourself, what do people depend on you for that they can't get elsewhere? If the answer is nothing, you are replaceable. If the answer is everything, you are a liability to yourself. The sweet spot lies in selective dependence, when people need you just enough to protect you, but not enough to fear you. Now let's talk about one of the most underestimated tools of power, ambiguity. The more predictable you are, the easier you are to control. Routine becomes a map others can use against you. But ambiguity, that unsettles. When your responses are unpredictable, your intentions unclear, your next move unreadable, you become dangerous. Not because of violence, but because of possibility. Possibility is the most powerful fear. It leaves people questioning, guessing, overthinking. They exhaust themselves trying to anticipate you. And in their confusion, you carve space to act freely. Mystery multiplies influence. Consider this. When people don't know your limits, they assume you have none. When they don't know your weaknesses, they imagine you have none. The unknown version of you is often stronger than the real one. But ambiguity must be balanced with precision. When you act, act decisively. When you punish, punish cleanly. When you reward, reward in ways that echo through the halls long after. People forget speeches. They never forget consequences. And if you're building an empire, understand the quiet math of control versus chaos. You must master both. Chaos is a ladder, but ladders are unstable. Control is a fortress, but fortresses can rot from within. Alternate between the two. When the world is too orderly, introduce disruption. When it is too chaotic, offer order. Be both storm and shelter, depending on what the moment demands. This is the secret of legacy, adaptability without erosion. The most dangerous leader is not the one who shouts the loudest. It's the one who listens, watches, adapts, and then acts with surgical precision. Now let's dismantle another illusion: morality. People are praised for being good, but good is just a word shaped by convenience. Morality changes with time, geography, and power. What's celebrated in one century is condemned in the next. So don't worship morality, study it. Understand its uses. Learn when to display it and when to discard it. Not because you're heartless, but because you're strategic. Machiavelli never asked rulers to be cruel. He asked them to be willing to be cruel if necessary. Mercy without teeth is a lullaby sung by the weak. But mercy backed by power, that's diplomacy. So make your morality a mask you wear, not a cage you live in. Let's move to alliances. No one builds alone. Every empire is built on shoulders. The question is, whose shoulders break and whose rise with you? Choose allies like you choose weapons. Each one serves a different function. Some protect, some attack, some distract. But all of them should cost you less than they bring in return. Never build alliances based on comfort. Build them based on alignment. Values are negotiable. Vision is not. A person who agrees with your methods but not your mission will betray you quietly. But a person who shares your mission, even if their methods differ, can be forged into a partner of iron. And when alliances end, as they always do, end them cleanly. No public drama, no moral grandstanding. Endings done with dignity preserve your reputation and keep doors cracked open for future utility. Let's talk about timing. The best decision at the wrong time is failure. The worst decision at the perfect time can be brilliance. Watch the waves. Don't move when the sea is calm. Move when the tide begins to shift. Fortune favors those who are patient enough to wait, but ruthless enough to strike the moment hesitation appears in an opponent's eyes. You'll know the moment when silence grows heavy, when your presence makes people adjust their tone, when doors open without knocking. That's the signal. Move then, not a sec sooner. Because power at its core is rhythm. Those who rise fastest are not always the strongest, but they are the ones who move in sync with the turning world. And remember this, every throne casts a shadow. The higher you rise, the longer the shadow grows. That shadow holds envy, fear, admiration, betrayal, all shaped in your image. The greater your light, the darker the reactions. Do not fear your shadow. Cultivate it. Let the myth of you grow. Be twice as kind in public and twice as calculating in private. Let people tell stories of your wisdom, even as you're sharpening your next move in silence. Because in the end, leadership is less about control and more about orchestration. You don't push people, you compose them. Their ambition, their fear, their desire. Those are instruments. You are the conductor. Play your symphony.